Hi ladies, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. So we have a lot of new people here. I would love to hear where you are watching from, if you are watching the live or if you are watching the replay. I'm always interested in hearing about that. And yeah, so today I am talking about trust issues. So let me know if you have ever experienced trust issues. And also, let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm trying a new method with my headphones here to make sure the audio is good, because some of you commented that the sound was a little bit low. So if you are watching live, let me know if you can hear me, and let me know if the sound is good too. So yeah, who has experienced trust issues or thinks that they might be experiencing trust issues? So if this is you, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. Give me a heart. Very curious here. So let me get started here. So today I'm going to talk about trust issues. That's what this whole live is about. What are trust issues? How to know if you're even having trust issues? Because a lot of times we think we're experiencing trust issues, but there's something very, very different going on. And then if you are experiencing trust issues, how to overcome them, how to resolve them. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Okay, perfect, you can hear me. So, but first I want to let you guys know, if you didn't see my post yesterday, I have a special offer this week for $65 energy healing sessions. If you feel like you have a lot of trust issues, you feel like you haven't been able to move forward from a past relationship, if you feel like you're just carrying around a lot of baggage and you're kind of stuck, and you feel like you're not totally ready to jump into my full-on living free program, this is a good way to just get started working with me and releasing some of those blocks. So that's going to be available this week. And if you're interested in that, send me a message or comment sessions in the live here, and I'll reach out to you. So, okay, trust issues. The first thing I want to talk about here is how do you even know if you have trust issues, right? So, you know, one of the most common things I hear when I talk to women who are coming to me, who are wanting to just break these cycles of bad relationships, they want to have a healthy relationship, is they say, I feel like I have trust issues, right? They're dating someone and they're feeling like, gosh, why can't I just trust this person, right? So what is often going on is not a trust issue. It's actually that you're with someone who is untrustworthy. So someone who you really can't trust, someone who lacks integrity, okay? So a trust issue, what a trust issue actually is when you're with someone and they haven't shown any indication that you can't trust them. You know, they're showing up in the relationship, they're being kind, they're being respectful, they're not doing any shady behavior, but you're still feeling like you can't trust them. That is a trust issue. That is a genuine trust issue. But what a trust issue is not is when someone is giving off red flags, right? Or you catch them doing something that they weren't truthful about. That's not a trust issue. So I want to be very, very clear about that. You know, for example, like they're texting other women, or they have an uncomfortably close relationship with their ex, or they just disappear for days at a time and not tell you what's going on. That's not a trust issue, okay? This is untrustworthy behavior. So who here has experienced this? I want to know what you guys have experienced in your dating and in your relationships. Because yes, quite often we don't actually have trust issues. We're just with people who are not showing up in trustworthy ways. So yes, I'm very curious if you guys have experienced something like this and kind of doubted yourself. So what I want to talk about here is how to really tell what is going on. Because a lot of times we come out of these difficult relationships. If we've had many bad relationships, we can really, really start to doubt ourselves. Yeah, okay, so Sherry has experienced cheating. Yes. So if you're in a relationship with someone who has cheated on you, you don't have a trust issue in that relationship with this person, if this makes sense. You may feel like you have a trust issue if you're entering into a new relationship, or after that you feel like you can't trust anyone. So I hope this is making sense here, because again, a lot of times if you've been in a bad relationship or an abusive relationship, people can use this trust issue thing as an excuse to rationalize their own bad behavior. Like I said, like if you catch your partner, they're talking to another woman, in order to not take accountability for their behavior, they could say, oh, well, you have a trust issue. You can't trust me. You need to work on yourself and your trust issues. Okay? And that's just plain gaslighting. So I want to tease out here what is an actual legitimate trust issue and what is not a trust issue. Okay, so how do we shift this? How do we stop thinking we have trust issues when we really don't? So the answer is simple. If someone is showing these behaviors, if they are not behaving in a trustworthy manner, we leave that relationship. Because again, if we are trying to make ourselves trust someone who isn't trustworthy, that's how we actually drive ourselves crazy. It's crazy making. And it can contribute to the sort of emotional distress that might be going on in a relationship like this, okay? So, is this making sense so far to you guys? Just let me know. Let me know in the comments. So that's really it. We don't try to fix our trust issues. We don't try to fix ourselves here because we actually don't have trust issues in a situation like this where someone is untrustworthy, okay? Trust is earned. We don't try to fix ourselves. Trust is earned by the other person, right? It's earned over time. Okay? You earn trust. So, if someone is behaving in an untrustworthy manner, then you can lose trust. And this is what happens, and it's not a trust issue. You're behaving rationally and responding normally to a situation where you can't trust someone. Okay? And again, we can tend to blame ourselves for, oh, I just have a trust issue. I can't trust this person. No, nobody should trust this person. I wouldn't trust this person, okay? It's not you. This isn't something you need to fix if your partner is exhibiting behaviors like this. So trying to fix yourself will not solve this problem. The solution really is to leave, okay? So now, if you really do think you have a trust issue, how do you shift this? So the first thing to do is to get clarity on, can I actually trust this person? Because many times you guys tell me coming out of bad relationships, I don't actually trust my judgment anymore. I don't know if this is a person I can trust. I've been through so much that, again, I don't trust myself. I can't tell. So this is where you really, really want to get that outside objective support. I don't care whether it's, a therapist, a coach, me, a counselor. Get someone to help you tease this out. This is kind of my specialty here. Like, I help people navigate the dating world, and I actually offer consult calls. If you are going through a situation like this and you're like, gosh, I think I can trust this person, but I'm not sure. I've been through so much. I've had so many bad relationships. I just can't tell. Reach out to me. I offer consult calls for this specific reason. So if you're interested in that type consult, in the comments, and I'll reach out to you. But, really getting support here, getting an objective person who knows what a healthy relationship is, who knows what the behavior should look like, is critical here. Just get some sort of support to tell. Because, I'm going to give you guys some advice to help work through these trust issues, but if you're not sure if you can trust this person, the rest of my advice here is essentially null and void. Don't listen to it. Okay? You want to really make sure that this is a person you can trust. So, all right. By the way, am I making sense here? Is this resonating with you guys? Because I want to make sure that I'm giving you what you are looking for here? So again, also, if you have any questions while we're going through this, please ask. So Nikki's asking, what about with roommates? Do you mean like if you can trust a roommate? Is that what you mean? Can you give me a little more information here, Nikki? But yeah, I will answer that as soon as I get some more information. So, okay. So when you get clarity that this is someone you can trust, they're treating you well, they're showing up, they're giving you respect and care, what do you do? So I'm going to go into that now. So Nikki says yes. Okay, so this is a roommate. I mean, all of this stuff applies whether this is a romantic partner, a friend, a family member, or a roommate. Okay? If someone is showing you untrustworthy behavior, then you can't trust them, right? And there's no amount of fixing yourself, healing yourself that's going to change that, because that's basically, you're gaslighting yourself there. Do you know what I mean? So, Nikki, I hope this answered your question. So yeah, any of the advice here can be applied to any type of relationship, not just a romantic relationship. Okay. So when you get clarity that this is someone you can trust, and you still feel like you have this baggage you're carrying around, like, okay, I don't know if I can trust anyone. I've just been so hurt in the past. What we have to do here is shift our mindset. Because what's going on when we actually have a trust issue? Like, what is that? That is our ego, that wounded inner child, believing that, okay, if I keep my walls up and I don't trust anybody, then I'm going to be safe and no one will hurt me, right? So if you have trust issues, are these the kind of thoughts that are going through your head? Please let me know. So yeah, so your ego is like, okay, if I just close up and not trust anyone, then I will be safe. But that's actually not what happens. So if you are in a good relationship with someone you can trust, and you are not letting them in, and you are keeping your walls up, this is actually self-sabotage. And I'm going to explain why here. So, first of all, I want to say, when you have gone through a difficult relationship, or more than one difficult relationship, where there's been cheating, betrayal, a deep sense of pain, of course we're going to have our walls up. Of course we're going to be distrusting. This is normal, and I don't want you guys to feel like if you're experiencing that, it's wrong. Anyone who has gone through something difficult, or what you've been through, has done the same thing. They've put the walls up. So don't beat yourself up if that's happening. But if we are continuing to do that in a safe, healthy relationship, we will sabotage the relationship, because what we truly want here, right, is safety, security, intimacy. And what that requires is vulnerability, letting our walls down, okay? Is this easy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if we do want to keep this safe relationship that we're in with someone who loves us and who cares about us, we do have to slowly start to dismantle those walls. Because let me know if you guys have experienced this. If you've ever been in a relationship with someone who does have those walls up, who doesn't let you in, and doesn't give you the intimacy that you want, who doesn't trust you, it's very, very difficult to be in a relationship with them, right? I would essentially say that person is emotionally unavailable. Nikki, I'm going to talk about how. Give me a second. But yeah, so I personally have left relationships where people have had their walls up, where I couldn't be intimate with them in an emotional way, because it's literally like you're trying to knock on a brick wall, you just can't get in, right? Have any of you experienced that? Those are not pleasant relationships to be in. So how do we stop doing this? The first thing here is to understand that in any relationship, even with the best partner, the safest partner in the world, there is always, always, always going to be some risk involved, okay? There's always a chance that you can get hurt. And if you're not interested in that potential, if you're not interested in potentially getting your heart broken, or if you just want to stay completely safe, then a relationship is not for you. And I don't mean this to pass any judgment. I'm just giving you the reality of relationships. Relationships are not risk-free, okay? So just understand that even in the best of relationships, there's going to be some pain you're going to experience, because that's just how relationships work. We can do everything possible to do the right things for our partner, and your partner can do everything possible to do the right thing and say the right thing for you, but there's still going to be times where you're going to get hurt, okay? And that's just the nature of relationships. Hopefully you work through that and you resolve it with your partner. But so what I'm saying here is, if you're looking for a relationship where you're never going to be hurt, or you're never going to be uncomfortable or feel vulnerable, that's not going to happen. It's not possible, okay? So what we also want to do here is, okay, so Nikki's asking, how do we do this? So if you have figured out that you are with someone who you can trust, you slowly, slowly, slowly start to be vulnerable. So what does that mean? What does that mean, be vulnerable? You tell them a little bit about some difficult things that you've went through in the past. You share some of your experiences. Not all at once. You don't just dump this all. But slowly, slowly you start to be vulnerable. Okay? You start to open up. And you see how this person responds. If you've gone through that process of vetting this person in your mind already, and you say, okay, I can trust this person, then you can start to go through this process of being vulnerable. Okay? Another way to be vulnerable is like, okay, let's say you had a situation in your past where your partner cheated on you, he was always texting other women, and your current partner hasn't done any of that, but you get a little bit nervous when they go out with their friends. So the move here would be to just let them go out with their friends and not be, if in the past you wanted to keep tabs on them or check their phone all the time, the move here would be to not do that and sit in that discomfort, okay? So how to resolve trust issues is essentially getting uncomfortable. And I know this is like what no one really wants to hear. They want some easy, quick solution. And I do, there are things you can do, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But really, it's just being okay with being uncomfortable. That's essentially what falling in love is, and that's essentially what a real relationship is. It's mutual vulnerability. When you start to trust, when you start to open up, it's going to feel really scary at first, because you've been hurt in the past. You've been with people who haven't respected you, who haven't taken the care in the relationship that you needed. So it's going to feel really, really scary at first. But your job is to move through that fear, okay? And know that this is kind of the name of the game here. This is what opening up looks like when I've been hurt so much in the past. So does this make sense? Please let me know if, again, I always like to know if what I'm saying is resonating with you guys, and if it's making sense, okay? So I can clarify anything that isn't making sense here. So, this can be a very, very scary process to let those walls down. It's really like a surrender process. Falling in love, like for real love, is a process of surrender. It's scary. You feel like you're losing control, right? But that's what this is. There really, truly is no way to avoid that experience. Like I said, I have left relationships with people who haven't been able to open up, who've literally had a wall around their heart. And I just felt like I couldn't connect to them. I felt very, very unloved, and I couldn't stay in that relationship. So that's the name of the game here. So the next thing you can do to help make this process easier for you, this opening up process, this trusting process, is to do some healing work around this issue, okay? You know, one of the best ways that I have found to shift this, to make it easier to start to trust again, to start to open up, is to do subconscious work. So when I say subconscious work, I mean releasing a lot of the baggage from the past relationships, the emotions that are keeping you stuck feeling like you can't trust anyone again. And what often happens is we get subconscious blocks as well from these previous relationships, from our previous experiences. Things that go through our mind over and over again, like, I can't trust anyone. There's no good men out there. That kind of thing is what needs to be shifted in order to feel like you can start to open up again, okay? So, you know, I have some very powerful methods that I use, and feel free, again, to reach out to me if you're interested in working with me to release some of this stuff. Again, I have a special this week. It's a really great time to start doing this. But this is hugely important here, because if you're carrying around all of this stuff, it does make it harder to open up and to trust someone again. So, what was I going to say here? Oh yeah, because what we don't want to continue is to sabotage ourselves. The walls were needed at some point. We needed to put up walls when we couldn't trust someone. But when we are in a relationship with someone who we can trust, we have to start tearing down those walls. Otherwise, we will push people away, right? So again, like, click on the link in the video description if you guys are ready to start releasing some of this stuff. You can experience extremely powerful shifts. I mean, every day I work with clients, they tell me, you know, how much their lives are changing and how open they're becoming. So it's very, very powerful work. Again, click on the link if you're interested in doing that. So what I also want you to remember here, when we're talking about trust issues and dating and finding a good partner, is that we don't actually have to find a perfect partner. Because, so what can happen is when we have these issues and we're not trusting people, we can think, okay, the only person that I can trust is someone who is essentially perfect, who doesn't have any baggage, who hasn't experienced any difficulty in the past, who is essentially perfect. And then we tend to overlook people who would actually be really good partners for us, because we're looking for this perfect person that doesn't exist, right? So let me know if you've done this, if you have experienced this in your dating process. So this doesn't exist. The perfect person is not out there, because we're not perfect either, right? We've got baggage. We don't always say the right thing. We don't always do the right thing. But we're willing to show up and try our best, right? And that's all that you really need to look for in a partner. You want someone who can grow with you, who is willing to meet your needs, you know, who really wants to, and who's someone who can apologize when they do get it wrong, because they're going to get it wrong, just like you're going to get it wrong, right? But if they're willing to, again, apologize and then shift the behavior and do what you need them to do, that's all you need. And this is not such a tall order. There's many, many people like that out there who are conscientious, who are caring, who are empathic, just like you. So, you know, I want you to remember that, again, you don't have to find this perfect person who's never going to get it wrong. All you have to find is someone who is, again, willing to apologize, who is willing to show up and make the changes that you need them to make, just like you're going to do. Because it's easy to say, oh yeah, I want someone who can do that, but then we have to do that as well. That's what creates a good relationship. So I hope that this was helpful, ladies. I'm going to take a moment here. Any questions about what I covered, or any questions about trust issues? So I'm leaving some space here for questions before I go. But, you know, really, the short answer here, the summary is when you found a good partner, how to resolve trust issues is to just slowly open up and see that it is okay to trust someone. And, I can tell you from personal experience that this has been the most healing thing that I have experienced to help overcome a pattern of difficult relationships. Once you find someone who really you can trust and you just start to let them in and they prove to you over and over again that, oh yeah, I can trust them. This is okay. Like literally like my whole neurological system started to calm down. I slept better. Like it was like night and day. And it was more healing to experience that than all of the stuff that I did on my own. I did a lot of work on my own too. I did a lot of subconscious work, and that's how I got to this place. But first, before I was able to really let my walls down and let this person in, I had to figure out if this was someone I could trust. And I got help for that. I would not be doing this work here. I would not be sitting here today talking to you guys, telling you how great a relationship can be if I had not gotten the support to do that. I could not have gotten out of this pattern on my own. Absolutely not. Wouldn't have happened. So if you are stuck in these patterns and you need help, please reach out to me, to anyone, to a therapist, to a counselor, to another coach. Doesn't matter. You do need the support to shift this stuff. Because if we could have, we would have already done it, right? We wouldn't be in these patterns. If we could have done it on our own, we wouldn't be here. So again, you guys, any more questions here about trust issues? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. Again, if you are looking for support to help release the subconscious stuff that's making it more difficult to trust, comment me and I will reach out to you. And all right, I don't see any questions here. So that is it, ladies. Thank you for watching and thank you for participating. It makes it so much more fun when you guys comment and participate. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.